Hi, this is Eileen Dietz from The Exorcist, and I want you to meet my friend Pazuzu. Hello, what do you want?
Yo quisiera agradecerle primero pues a todos por estar acá y también agradeciéndole al Ray Barlett que hizo posible esta entrevista. Él envió la pregunta que él adquirió el libro, tanto el guión sobre el exorcista y todo. Él dice, ¿qué es lo que más encuentra difícil sobre el legado de esta película? Para usar el título de tu libro, ¿qué demonios todavía está tratando de salir a la luz?
Okay, everything is possible. Ray, thanks to our friend Ray Barlett, he acquired your book and he sent us a question. What is the most difficult thing that you find about the legacy of the movie? Using the title of the book of your book, what demons still you are trying to exorcise?
No, I'm not. I am not struggling with any demons right now. It was a movie, and I knew it was a movie then, and I know it was a movie now, which did not stop me from when I was walking to the set going, dear God, universe, spirit, whatever's out there, this is a movie. It's not true. It's a movie. So nothing happened. I mean, to me, it's all just been an incredible, joyous experience. I don't want to disappoint you, like I said, oh my God, I had nightmares and demons are following me down the street. But that's not what happened.
I think the question was metaphorical, like a lot of actors have to survive the legacy of a successful film as so I think the question was, is there any burden in the legacy of the exorcism for you, or you just
No, I'm saying it's totally the opposite. That I've done 40 horror conventions, selling pictures and my Pazuzu statue. What did I send? A script and what else? And it's just like one of the 8x10. So that's Pazuzu from the film. So I get to sell. I make all this money signing my name on a picture. I mean, I think it's phenomenal. And so really only good things have come from the film. And 50 years. It's been going, the 50th year anniversary. Whoops, Pazuzu doesn't want to stand up. We'll try that a third time. Yeah, the 50th anniversary is coming up in January. How did that happen? That's my legacy, that I can't lie about my age anymore unless I was 2 years old when I shot the film.
Buenas noches a todos. Yo soy muy feliz de entrevistar a Eileen y quiero, esta es mi pregunta, se las voy a leer. Su carrera comenzó en los años 50 y el terror siempre ha formado parte de su filmografía. De acuerdo a su experiencia, ¿qué tomaría de la vieja manera de filmar películas que ya no se haga actualmente y que considere que debería seguir haciéndose?
Your career started back in the 50s. What ways or methods of the old school, of the old way, do you think that can be used now in the film industry today?
Shooting The Exorcist in the 70s and all the great films of the 70s and early 80s, Halloween, Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, all those classic films were, I think, much closer to the 50s style than what they do now, because obviously everybody's using CGI now, which most people know it's CGI, and it really takes away from what's out. A lot of people, some people now are using only practical effects anyway. So of course everything in The Exorcist is a practical effect because they didn't have CGI then. So I think truly that filmmaking has gotten away from itself now, and I always differentiate between thrillers and horror films, because horror films today seem to be all gross and blood and pulling people apart and no plots, no characters that you can relate to. I just saw a movie like that the other day that it was shot beautifully, and the cinematography was incredible, and the acting was fine. The acting was good, and nothing happened. It was called I'm not gonna say what what it was called, but
you can say it. We can edit it later.
yeah, I know, but the people are friends of mine, and they might find
Oh.
out. But really, nothing happened. But
Yeah,
all the elements were, and that happens with a lot of films that are coming out today, which why I think that they're not becoming classics. And the ones that are coming out today, which I actually haven't seen yet, but like The Black Phone and Smile and things like that, they do have plots of people. So I call them thrillers. And then the horror films are, whatever horror people can conjure up. So obviously films in the 50s. Well, Psycho, I think I don't know when Psycho came out. Late 60s?
Yeah, late 60s.
Obviously that had a plot and it was scary and it's a classic. And, it's still around today. Like the films, some of the films in the early, well, those were mainly sci-fi, but some of those films were just this side being tacky, but they were so much fun that I don't know. You guys are probably too young, but they had a film called That. What happened is they made films because everybody was so afraid of the atom bomb going off. So they all made movies about the atom bomb going off. So there's a movie called Them, which was giant ants, and this little girl goes bam, bam, and Night of the Triffids. And The Day the Earth Stood Still was the Earth went just they set off a bomb and the Earth went a little bit off its axis and there was no water. Earth worldwide, there was absolutely no water everywhere, and so it was a different kind of science fiction in the 50s. And the only film I can think of offhand right now is Psycho. I'm sure there were others.
I have the whole collection of the novels, the sci-fi novels they used to adapt in the 50s. At the Triffids, I have it there. I have Harlan Ellison, Ray Bradbury, all the guys there.
Yeah, black and white. There are people today, the kids today, they go, black and white? I can't watch something in black and white. And I love black and white.
And actually, the true horror, a lot of film directors I know, they're using black and white films because they have that essence. They have less research, but they have more creativity. Actually, I watched a film called Eyes Without a Face. It's a French horror film from the 60s. It's amazing. And
it's called, what is it called?
Eyes Without a Face.
Oh, Eyes, EWE. Yeah,
yes,
Eyes Without. What a great title.
No, it's amazing. Actually, Pedro Almodóvar took that film and used it for a film he did in the 2000s.
La piel que habito.
La piel que habito. The
skin I live in.
Because that film was so. I still watch it now, and I get nightmares because of that film. And it was in the 60s. It's a very simple idea. But so scary.
I have to look it up.
Yeah. You should. I'm now seeing you're a true horror fan. Not only you are a fan and a horror icon, but also a true horror fan. You know a lot.
Yeah. Well, Ingmar Bergman films weren't horror, but they were all spooky. They're coming up with some kind of convention someone told me about, but I don't know what the name of it is or who does it or who to contact or anything. But I understand.
I will research because I'm in contact with some people in Korea and Japan. We usually coordinate some activities. I'll send you the information. Maybe you can travel there.
That would be marvelous. I can tell my manager because I have a manager that books. I hear about them, but I give it to my manager and he books them. Make sure I can get a ticket there and back. You hear that all the time. Don't cry for me, right?
Yeah. That's
hey, you just won the World Cup.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm so thrilled. I have to say, yes, we won after 35 years suffering.
I think it's great. We're huge American football fans, but when we were in Vegas watching football during Thanksgiving, they kept running the World Cup there, and I had never really seen as much of that ever as I did during our Thanksgiving. So congratulations.
Wow. Well, thank you. Did you enjoy soccer?
Well, I did, except that the Americans and whoever they were playing, I don't remember right now, it was 0-0. They were like, come on, give me a score. But it was fun watching it, yeah.
By the way, the movie that Adrian told is Les Yeux Sans Visage in French, but of course, The Eyes Without a Face. No, I want to ask you about the legacy of the other great movie that you appear. That is the best adaptation, and you can correct me, all the people here, from all the history from Charles Manson that are Helter Skelter. What people or what good memories do you got of this movie? Because yeah, you appeared not only in one amazing horror movie that is The Exorcist, was Helter Skelter.
I mean, the sequels are awful, as you probably know. But
Yes.
it wasn't the sequel, it was the prologue in the beginning that were just god awful, and the heretic. And they keep saying it's the curse of the Exorcist that they can't make a sequel. Let me tell you, it's not the curse of the Exorcist. They don't ever have a script. And that's my other soapbox. That's my other thing that I get really upset about. Give me a script. You got to have a script. You can have all the special effects and the horror and the acting and stuff like that, but you got to have a script. And they kept going for these names, these that weren't even horror names. Like Rennie Harden is an action director, and Paul Schrader is a religious nut. But they're not horror directors. And The Heretic, Exorcist 3, which should not be called The Exorcist. I don't know if you guys have seen it, because it has nothing to do with possession at all. I think it's a brilliant film, but it went right donk because people thought it was going to be some kind of an Exorcist something. And now they're doing another one. So at least I haven't done mine over again with all kinds of CG and stuff like that. I don't know if they'll touch it because it's such a classic. So I think the legacy of that film, as much as anything else, is that people actually said, I can make horror films and I can make good films. So it was the first of a lot of things that were happening. And then, of course, the other ones came really quickly. Clockwork Orange. I don't know if that was shot before or after, but you guys know Clockwork Orange, right? And my manager handles Malcolm McDowell. But that is such a brilliant film. I don't think anything, I mean, The Exorcist comes close. I don't think anything surpasses Clockwork Orange, just for pure horror.
Yeah.
Because it's so bad. Those people are so awful. There's no redeeming, value or anything with that movie. So I think the legacy of The Exorcist is that really the people say, wow, I can do that. And sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't.
For a lot of directors I know, it's the reference, it's the ideal of a horror movie. They are always trying to achieve what The Exorcist did back then, and for them it's really, really difficult.
Yeah, but they had not only a great script by Bill Blatty, but they had the best makeup artist in the world with Dick Smith. And the brilliance of that movie to me is that they made Reagan look like anybody's daughter. Instead of making some horrific monster, which we started in makeup tests, like big fat eyebrows and stuff, and making it a monster that nobody could relate to. But they made Reagan look like it could be anybody's kid. And that's what horrified the parents so much. And that's what horrified the kids. I mean, along with the religious stuff and all of that. But I don't think I know. That's what horrified people so much, that they could relate to it, and they were going to open that door and see their own kid like that. And that's why it's lasted 50 years.
Before I let my friend do the question, you're right, Adrian and Eileen. It's crazy when the promoters were promoting Hereditary from Ari Aster. They say the new Exorcist, and they always try to achieve that title. I don't know who call that. But no, I don't think the bars are too high to raise that a new movie that can be called The New Exorcist. But that
you're saying the bar is so high.
Yes,
because
they can
achieve that.
Yes, because I remember when Hereditary comes out, the trailer said this is the new Exorcist, and they always use as a promotion of that because the bar are too high. I mean, we can surpass the Exorcist. I think it's a very difficult task. So as a fan of horror, thank you for being here.
What do you think about the work of Ari Aster, Hereditary, Midsummer, this kind of horror?
I didn't see Midsummer.
Hereditary?
I don't see a lot of movies. I have to make myself sit down and watch them. That's why I haven't seen The Black Phone yet. I haven't seen Smile. I haven't seen Barbarian. And I have a lot of friends that are involved with Terrifier 2. That's made $100 million on a $250,000 budget. But I don't think I can watch that. Talking about gross films and that. I understand. Have you guys seen it?
Yeah. Actually, I'm friends with the actor and
with David.
And
David
he
Thompson.
was here, and he was
Oh,
on
yeah?
the channel. Yes,
Oh.
yes.
He's so thrilled because, it's late in life for him, kind of.
Yeah.
But he's just a superstar now. Now everybody can aspire to do a Terrifier 2 debt because I want to say unholy. I mean, it just hasn't been done before. Nobody's done. I mean, things like Conjuring did really well for James Wan and Insidious. Made a lot of money, but nothing like what Terrifier's done.
Actually, there's something very funny about the character, about art, and the idea of expressing this clown that makes this smile, and it looks like a child, but it's so creepy when he does that, and that's the fun part about it. Because for you're really when he smiles and he do this clowny thing, he's creepier than ever.
Oh, that's why you're in marketing. You almost made me want to see it. That's why you're in marketing, because you really did. You almost made me. I have to see it. I have friends who help produce it and are acting in it. So I think I should see it. I don't know. I can turn it off. I'm just a I make them. I don't want to be, creeped out by them. But we have a 10-foot projection screen here. So it's really cool to put movies up on that. And just, I think you just got to set a week. I have to just set, 5 nights that I'm just going to sit and watch movies. Because I don't want to go to movie theaters yet.
Yeah. And I will tell my friend Jhon that later share you the interview that we did with David. So and we are happy because we are having the icons from terror and horror. I mean, you, David. I don't know.
But a lot of people, I think, will say yes. I don't know what other people do, but if I got paid for every Zoom and podcast that I've been asked to do, I'd be rich. So it was really nice that we could work this out.
No, me too. Actually, you're a very, very happy, cool person, and I'm glad to see you're a cool horror fan too. I mean, and you have the advantage you can talk with all these people. You mentioned Malcolm McDowell. Do you know him?
Yeah, I know Malcolm very well. We've done a lot of horror conventions together.
Wow, no, because he's an amazing actor, and I have people who have met him, and he's a really cool guy, and also he has a very British sense of humor. That's what they told me.
And he'll tell stories from, when we're doing these conventions, his lines get really long because he just keeps telling stories, and he's a great raconteur.
Yeah.
And he's nice. He's funny.
Yeah.
He's
a fan of music, on rock music. That's what a friend told me.
A friend what?
He's a fan of rock music.
I don't know that about him. But I also knew George Romero very well, and he was a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
I used to call him the friendly giant because he's so tall.
Wow. No, the thing about George Romero, he was a very smart person. Of course, he used his films to communicate, a message, a social analysis. And that's what I really enjoyed about. I wish he was still with us to talk with him because
smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, I know.
He died of lung cancer.
I know. You know who had the chance to have one of the best talks with George Romero? Guillermo del Toro, because Guillermo del Toro was a fan of George. There is a video on YouTube when they are where they are talking. It's a marvelous chat, a marvelous talk about life, about horror. No. And Guillermo, you know, he's a big director, but he looks like a child talking to his idol. It's really
yeah.
fun.
No, you find that the more successful people are, most of the time, the nicest people they are, because they're not clawing, they're being desperate about stuff. I think that's true all the way up. But I know George and I watched one of the King Kongs together. I think it was the second of last one, and we hated it. So every time they did one of the long scenes, they just went on and on. We drink. And so by the time it was over, we just drunk out of our minds and stuff.
Well, that's quite an anecdote. Which
Yeah.
A little later in the channel was Patricia Tolman, the protagonist from the remake that Tom Savini did from Night of the Living Dead, but of course with the help from George Romero, and of course she was also in Monkey Shines. So please tell us more anecdotes of George and the Exorcist. Please, Eileen,
Yes.
please.
I don't know how many more I have. We hung out a lot. And I know just a friend of mine, a woman who became a friend, who flew all over the country to sit at a table with me. And she met George and she said, "Oh my God, it's so wonderful being this side of the table," meaning not just being a fan, but being on this side of the table and, having dinner with us and stuff like that. But George was like Malcolm. He would tell stories and tell stories and tell stories. His lines would be really, really long. And he was just a terrific guy. He ended up living up in Canada and married a woman who was a waitress. And she got him to stop smoking. But by then it was too late.
Something I really admire of Malcolm is that he's always working with the indie directors, and that's something. He's very humble, a very humble guy. You say, "Okay, Malcolm, do you want to come to work with us?" Yes, of course. That's the kind of person he is, and that's something really wonderful about him.
And they pay him a lot, even if they're indie directors.
No, yes, they pay him a lot, but in some cases he accept. He worked with a friend, and sometimes he's so eager to work. He really loves acting. I mean,
yes,
really.
He does. Yeah, that's what I do because I work for films where I did 14 films the last 2 years. 14 indie films, and this year I've done 4, and then next year I'm doing 4 more that I know about. So I'm like Malcolm. I just love to work, and some of them pay me more money, a lot of money. Some of them don't pay me so much, but it's a great script. It's a great character, and it's something you say, "Gee, I'd almost do this for free," because I love the character. So there's a great movie coming out that was produced by this big Russian named Alexander. He sounded like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was like Mr. Universe 3 or 4 times out of Russia. And so he's a big star in Russia. And they were going to premiere this movie in Russia until, the Ukraine happened. But he was a great guy. It's called Night of the Caregiver, and it's a 2-character film practically. I play this older lady living in the boondocks who invites the caregivers to come over every 4 or 5 months because she makes a deal with the assistant to the devil, because my character has throat cancer. And so she makes the deal that he'll let her live if she kills the most innocent person she can find, which is a caregiver. But you don't know all that. You just see this really sweet lady, carrying on. So I think that's going to be really, I mean, we all make films, so we really hope we get a breakthrough.
It's a co-production with Russia or just?
No, just they raise their money here. Alexander lives here now. and they raised the money here. I think it's going to be released. There'll be a screening in Beverly Hills in early spring or something like that. But it's a really fun film, and we all, we all hope that they're all going to break through, like Insidious or Conjuring or Terrifier 2, and that people really want to see it. And I think this movie has a chance of doing that. But like Malcolm, and George. I mean, George just loved to direct. I don't know if there's a lot of, I know I have friends that say, a director friend, no, if they don't pay me my rate, I'm not working. No, if I don't get so and so much money, I say, great. So you stay at home and think about all the money you're not making. I'm going to go out and make films.
That's a beautiful attitude to hear. I have a lot of friends that also, they are, directors, actors, and they just want to be in films, be in theater. Sometimes they get paid a lot. Sometimes they get nothing because they want to be in the project. I mean, that's what a true actor, director does. I mean, that's the beauty of it. Because, I mean, why else would you do that?
You'd have to be crazy. And a lot of time it's fun being on those sets, because from crew all the way down, from the director to the crew to the people, they're not doing it for the money, they're doing it for the passion. And so everybody who's there wants to be there. And if there's anybody there, I can walk on a set in 15 minutes, say that person's not going to be here tomorrow because they're either difficult or high maintenance, or you can just tell they shouldn't be there. And most of the time I come back the next day and they're gone. So, I mean, you guys all love what you're doing with film, or you wouldn't be doing it, right? It's time consuming.
Actually, I'm doing what I love for the first time in my life. I'm 39 right now. I quit economics 5 years ago. I started producing, helping all of my friend directors to promote the film. And recently, I do 2 animated short films, horror films, in English with American actors. And I'm doing what I love. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
That's and I love the short film, Jhon. I love short films, and I've judged a couple films for film festivals. And I'm only judging the short films. I don't want to have to watch all these features. I think it's a great medium.
Yeah. Actually, we are organizing with a friends film festival, short film festival. And we're going to do it at the same time in Mexico, Colombia, Spain, Italy, and France. And it's called
the same festival?
The same festival in different places. We can do that now, and in the different. And we're going to invite the directors from different countries, and we're going to do it online and also in places like here. We're going to rent a cultural center. So we received a lot of short films last year, and they were amazing. We received short films from Korea, from Germany, from Russia, and I mean the diversity of ideas of research. It's incredible. I mean,
will you send me the address where people can submit films?
Oh yes, I will.
Because I can think of 3 short films that I just shot that are
that
really
would
good.
Be great. Can you send your mail to Andres, and then I will send you.
Please, Eileen, because I also work on a film festival, and it will be an honor. But I will let my friend Jen.
Yes. Where do you run the festival at?
Yes, we last year was on Colombia and Venezuela. This year we got some difficulties in Colombia, so we run it on Venezuela. But a mall center, they gave us all the like the cinemas, so we show it on big screen, and people went crazy.
Where was that? In Venezuela?
Cristobal is a city from Venezuela, and it's crazy because sometimes people talk about Caracas, but they don't see the small cities, and no, the fans of horror are everywhere. I mean,
that's fabulous. Well, I'll go anywhere, anytime. Just buy me a plane ticket. Give me a return plane ticket. Get me there and get me home.
I will talk to the directors of the festival, but first,
do that.
Yes. Oh,
De hecho, yo tengo esta pregunta. Yo sé que has aparecido en el cine de James Balsamo. Me gustaría saber sobre cómo es la experiencia el haber estado en Equal Blood, la parte uno y también en Eileen Danger. Y bueno, César tiene algo por decir para fusionar todos los tres.
De todos los monstruos que ha interpretado, ¿cuál es su favorito y qué se siente ser un icono del terror?
One of the indie filmmakers that you had worked is a friend of the channel, James Balsamo. You worked in It Wants Blood and more of his movies.
He's very weird. This is
Yeah.
very,
Yes.
Yeah, totally. He's
Yeah.
he's crazy.
Don't worry.
I
he's
made
weird.
2 films for him, and
Yeah.
I
He's
probably won't-
crazy, but we love him crazy as he is. I mean,
How did you get to know him? You
Jhon,
saw
¿cómo
his
lo
movies?
conociste?
He makes a lot of movies.
Yes.
He makes like 3 or 4 movies a year or more, or something like that. He just churns them out.
Jhon
has-
knows.
He also
knows
has
him.
he has this guy named I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Bill Aronson or
Bill
Bill
Aruka.
somebody. Yeah, he's
Bill
the one.
Victor
He's
Aruka.
he went on to Apple when it first came out and bought stock from Apple products. So he's very, very, very wealthy, and he puts money into a lot of James films, which is wonderful. We all need that in our lives, you know. It's not a fairy godmother, but it's a fairy godfather or something like that, you know. So, and Bill always wanted to be an actor, and he was always in finance and stuff like that. So now that he has all this money, he can be an actor, and you know, it works out with him, and it works out with James, and you know, they've gotten some awards and stuff from the films they've done. I told him once or twice, I said, take one picture where you're not going. You know?
De hecho, yo
Yeah.
conocí a James Balsamo por medio de Cherry Davis. Entonces ahí es donde yo empecé a hacer reseñas de él y pues él me dio la oportunidad de hablar con todos los que hemos hablado casi de todo. Creo que acá en el canal somos el único medio de Latinoamérica que hemos cubierto todo el cine de James.
Al Burke también lo entrevistamos.
Algo.
JJ is saying that thanks to again
Cherry Davis.
Cherry Davis, they have we have the opportunity.
Wait, thanks to who?
Jerry Davis.
Cherry Davis.
Oh,
Cherry.
Sherry.
Yeah.
Sherry. Yeah.
Cherry Davis.
Is she beautiful or what?
Oh, it's gorgeous.
That woman
Gorgeous.
is so beautiful and very sweet, unless you cross her. Don't cross her.
No.
And
No.
she'll get out there on Facebook and she'll just tell you what's yours. You know, she doesn't hold back, and she's very beautiful and very, very kind, very sweet. We kind of all, you know, we all kind of know each other. You know, Devaney Penn and Felicia Rose and Sherry. You know, we all, they're all a lot younger than me, but they don't seem to care.
Well, I think horror fans and horror actors and directors, especially indie, are like a big family, because I know people from the States, from Germany. I mean, it's like that, and we are kind of little crazy, I think, and that's why we get along.
But we're all kind of. I was doing a 1-day gig in London, and I really had nowhere to stay because they said, you want to come in and just work this one day. So I just went on Facebook and I just said, I'm looking for in all horror community. I think I have 5,000 horror friends or something. And I said, I'm looking for a place to stay just for one night. And these people got back to me, and they had like a 3-story condominium that's all white. It was just stunning. And they said, come stay with us. Maybe you can make a horror film about that. Say, oh, okay, I'm going.
Well, I actually, when a director, actor, or producer, horror producer from any country comes to Argentina, they stay in my house. I live with my girlfriend, and we had an extra room. So I have received producer, directors, actor. They come here. I mean, and then we take him to a tour to eat the Argentinian traditional meals. You know,
I'm gonna come. I want to come.
Yeah.
I want to come.
Argentina
take me.
is beautiful. I mean, really.
Can my husband come?
Yes, of course. I mean,
He hates to
actually,
travel,
when
but I might be able to talk him into
do
it.
you know Buenos Aires? Buenos Aires is like Paris in a sense that we have a lot of culture, a lot of theaters. If you look up in Google, you will see Buenos Aires is one of the most cultural places you ever find. Actually, it's and there's a lot of horror community here.
Yeah, well, we all know that. We know about Buenos Aires. It's, it's not a
Mm.
secret. We know about Venezuela too, but we only know about the country. We don't really know about,
Mm.
particular cities or stuff like that we've heard about. But so you guys are all friends though, right? Are you all friends? How
Yes.
did you all meet?
By Zoom.
Yes.
Yes.
Zoom by Zoom.
We met by Zoom.
Just by
Actually,
Zoom?
But
yes,
I
because
visit
we-
Jhon, no? He lives in my
Be-
city.
because we met during the pandemic. Actually, the festival, the international festival we are organizing, you have jurors for every part of the world. We met during the pandemic, during the quarantine, talking with people on Zoom, and we became friends. So
Yeah.
it started in the quarantine, and then when someone traveled to the US, I send alfajores, I send meals to my friends there. So now I'm inviting them. So everything starts during the quarantine. So something good came out of the quarantine.
Oh, well, we sit around all the time, except for the fact that 1 million people died in the United States. Which is a lot. A lot of things came out of the pandemic. I mean, even simple things like there was no traffic, and
Yeah.
LA is just getting miserable. There was no traffic, and there was very little stress because my industry was totally closed down. I did a lot of indies that at least had someone on the set taking temperatures. They didn't do a lot, frankly, but they took temperatures, and so I was shooting indie films, but everything else is totally shut down, and there were no conventions and stuff, so it was relatively stress-free. I went to Vegas to shoot a film, and there were like 6 people on the plane. So
Wow.
it's like, well, I'm not going to get infected now. There's only 6 people, and there's nobody around me. So yeah, you're right. There were something good things that came out of it.
Yeah.
All those people didn't have to die, then
No, I met people from all over the world, and thanks to that, now we are organizing these festivals, this cultural exchange. There's coming people to Latin America.
All 4 of you doing it,
Yes, actually.
and you're going to bring me in, right?
Yeah, of course. That would be great. if you want to be juror also.
I want to go everywhere.
Yeah, travel is the best thing in life. That's what I learned.
No, I love traveling. I don't like getting to the airport. I'm always freaked out that I'm going to miss a plane, or that the LA traffic is so bad. I get there 2 hours ahead of time. But once I'm in the air, I love traveling, and I love hotels. I'm sorry, you got your room, but I love hotels because you open the door and it's like a mystery. What am I going to find? I'm a little crazy too. Not as crazy as James.
Don't worry. We are all crazy.
Okay, listen, we're going to end this. Does anybody have any questions about The Exorcist? No.
Yes, but before we end, I know that you will be in Argentina with Adrian, but I will move mountains so you can travel. You can book two travels to Argentina and to Colombia and Venezuela. But I know the last time we see you is you taking the picture with Adrian in Argentina, and of course going to the obelisk and eating.
That sounds fun. This is such a nice Christmas present. I'm sorry it was so difficult. Tell JJ. I'm sorry it was difficult to schedule, but I've been traveling so much in the States. Actually, I was in Coventry in the spring. We did a charity event in the UK. So I've just been traveling a lot. So that's why it's really hard to say, I'll be home at this hour. But we did it. And I was tired. And my husband said, Eileen, just do it. Do it. What are you going to do? Wait till tomorrow? And then, just do it. And that's when I got back to JJ and I said, okay, let's do it. And now it's fine. I don't feel tired.
Not only tell people to buy the statue of Pazuzu in your booth, but tell us an anecdote that you want to tell us about The Exorcist, for us, it's a big thank you. So the camera is yours.
Okay.
Go
So
ahead.
they can also buy my book,
Yes.
and I have original script from The Exorcist that you can buy. It's fat. It's 135 pages. And I even have Captain Howdy's green pea soup, which, if you've seen the movie, you get the humor in that. And I have Pazuzu heads. So you can just buy the head if you don't want to buy the whole body. And that's an exact replica of the head they find at the beginning of the movie, which makes it work. And of course, I have, I think, 12 screenshots from the movie and one a vomiting scene, just spewing green pea soup. Pictures of Pazuzu. And I have a shot of me and Billy Freakin and Ellen Burstyn actually shooting a scene in the movie and stuff like that. And I also have, things from Constantine and from Halloween 2 and from Planet of the Apes and, other films that I've done. So I have a little store that I sell. If people want to go to eileendietz.com. Oh, beanies. I have beanies with Pazuzu right across the top. And I think my manager just got me some car stickers, bumper stickers that you can put on there. So I do have a lot of stuff. If you want to, the best way, if you people out there can get in touch with me, probably is on Facebook. I'm still trying to learn how to do Instagram 10 years later, right? I'm still trying to learn how to do it. So if you send me a personal message on Facebook, that's the best way to get in touch with me. Or you can get in touch with me at Eileen Dietz 11 at Gmail. And we can talk about whatever you talk about. And I can say, the postage is a little expensive, but I can send anything overseas that anybody might want.
And I will send you the films, the short films, and also the Latin American horror films. And if you want to work with some of the directors, you will see there's a lot of talent here. You will be surprised. Colombia, Argentina, they're doing amazing things.
Not when you say that, very little surprises me, actually. That people are out there doing it. I think that French film I saw, I think was called The Orphan, except the United States has another film called The Orphan. But I think it was The Orphan about a woman who was pregnant and they terrorized her. So I do like to see, I'd like to see foreign films. They do a really good job. And Malcolm just did a film called, I think it's called She Will.
Oh, yeah, She
but
Will.
It was done in the UK. Oh, it's a crazy.
Yes,
haunting.
I love that.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to tell him. I'm going to send him an email and tell him, because even someone the stature of Malcolm, I still loves to hear things like that. that never goes away. It's such a simple film, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's just really haunting.
Hmm.
Yeah, they have. I'm sorry. Go on.
No, that's the thing. The simplicity. That's what makes it. And I mean, I love that film. I really love. And Malcolm, it's great always. I mean, it's a great fun to watch him be there in any movie. Actually,
and he still doesn't really know. He really, he says, I had such a small part in this film. Is it really going to work? Are people going to like it? So even someone of his stature has typical actor insecurities.
Really? I mean,
yeah.
him.
And
he was
a lot of us won't go see our films unless we have to. Yeah. Like Bruce Davison, Bruce Davison?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, he will not go see any of his films unless he has to go see a screening. And Malcolm generally doesn't either. But they have so many screenings that he has to go as a guest artist or something like that. But most of us don't want to see our own films. I just did what they call a teaser trailer. Because they're going on GoFundMe accounts and all that kind of stuff. And I went to Chicago to shoot that. That's a really neat film. It's called With Child. And all these children from the future are haunting this woman who's pregnant because they want her to abort her baby because the baby's going to grow up to be a serial killer. And take care of these children from the future. So I think it's a great concept. And so we shot a teaser trailer for it, and I haven't watched it yet. They keep saying, Eileen, when are you going to watch it? Tomorrow.
What was the name of the idea, the teaser?
That's called With Child.
Which
With Child.
excellent.
And I'm working on another one. It's The Dark World of the Wizard of Oz. It's called The Dark World of Oz. And the Dorothy-like character gets shot and falls asleep and goes into her nightmares. And all of a sudden, the Scarecrow and the Wizard of Oz, the Scarecrow and the Tin Man and the Cowardly Lion are all terrible monsters that are all
Wow.
trying to attack her. So I just like films that have unique ideas to them. You know, not like, oh my God, we're stranded in the car. Let's go into this house and get help. Oh my God, the house has monsters. And I mean, come on, really? Just don't do it.
There, you should try the Nordic horror. I have a lot of friends, filmmakers doing horror films in Denmark, Danish, Sweden. It's amazing. They do dark fantasy. But they will blow your mind. I mean, they have amazing ideas. Let the Right One In, Border. That's another one. Speak No Evil. Oh, that was.
That's all he does is watch movies, right?
Well, actually, I do it at night, but my girlfriend doesn't let me. Say, go to bed, stop watching movies.
Well, it's better than watching Marvel.
Yeah, definitely. Because there's a lot of incredible things. I mean, I don't understand why they're all the same, the Marvel movies. And suddenly that's why I love to organize a film festival, because I receive, short films and feature films from all over the world. And I say, wow, this should be known. So I talk with the director and I help them to be more known, because they are people so talented. I have helped a lot of people from Argentina and Latin America to go to the US. Actually, we have a good friend of mine, Demian Rugna. He did a film, an Argentinian horror film called Terrified, Aterrados, Terrified. And now Andy Muschietti is going to do the remake with him as the director. So we are really happy.
Wonderful.
For him. Yeah.
I'm sorry, we seem to have a private conversation here. Do you guys have anything to say that you wanted to translate?
I am enjoying every word, and don't worry, I will translate to my friends. No.
Okay. Well, when I see you, I've got a lot of stories to tell about The Exorcist. Enjoy a lot, the things that nobody else knows except me. I guess, I'm sorry that half the people are dead, and there's just really me, Ellen Burstyn, and Billy Friedkin. And Ellen Burstyn and Billy Friedkin are like 83 and 84 years old.
I think Ellen Burstyn is still, she's still made.
She acts all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I know. And what about Bill? How is he? Like, he's a nice guy. I never heard stories about him.
I got nothing to say.
Oh, okay.
My mother said, if you haven't got anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Okay.
He's difficult. We'll just say that he's difficult.
Yeah.
He's difficult. And I think truly his career was really made by editors, that the editors have really taken, and The Exorcist and French Connection, and that he won the Oscar for French Connection. And the editing is brilliant in that movie. And I know on The Exorcist, I will tell you a quick story, but it took like almost a year to shoot that movie, from pre-production to post-production. And it was kind of like, who do you have to whatever to get off this movie? Because he would shoot every scene over again. And we used to take bets about whether he was going to, shoot the scenes. And Owen Rosman, the cameraman, would go, you can't do that. It's not going to fit. It's not going to work. And he goes, shoot it anyway. So he'd shoot it and shoot it. We'd do it and do it. And then he'd go, when they used to see dailies, because it was filmed, who did that? Who shot that? Oh, that doesn't work. That's not. And he just blamed everybody except taking responsibility for himself. And Bill Blatty who I became friends with after the film. And I'm friends with his son now, whose name is Michael Blatty. They fought all the time about, and Bill Blatty says, yes, The Exorcist is an amazing film and terrific, fabulous, but it could have been a monsterpiece. It could have been a masterpiece if he had listened to me. So there was a lot of that going on. But hey, he did what he did. He won an Oscar for French Connection. They didn't win Oscars for The Exorcist because horror films don't win Oscars. They just really. Kathy Bates won for Misery, but that wasn't really horror. That was really a thriller. And Anthony Hopkins won for Silence of the Lambs, but that was a different kind of horror. Malcolm McDowell would have won an Oscar if they gave out Oscars for horror. And
Malcolm McDowell should win an Oscar. He's an excellent. Please tell him that I admire him. I have been watching his films since I was little. He's an amazing actor, and
I will tell him.
Yeah, please tell him.
Well, bring him into your festival if you can afford him.
Yes, of
He's
course.
A lot of money.
Yeah, well, we don't have a lot of money, but we will try. We will try because for us it would be amazing.
He will come, but he's very expensive.
Yeah, I know. Well, tell him that in Argentina has a lot of fans, and
in Colombia also, in Mexico.
He brought the first barbecue restaurant ever to Mexico City, and he's trying to he has 3 restaurants now, and he's trying to bring the United States to Mexico City. So they celebrate July 4th. They celebrate the elections. He's a big sports fan, so they celebrate the Super Bowl, and he's totally bilingual now, and he's very political, and he does shows, but his restaurant is so insanely popular. Now you can ask me the name of it.
Yes, please. For my friend Cesar, go. What is the name of the restaurant?
It's called La Pinche Grande.
Pinche Grande.
Yeah. Is that what
Cesar, ¿lo conoces?
It's not a nice name.
Pero
I know it's not a nice name. It took me a long time to get it.
No, es buen nombre, de hecho.
Cesar will go and we take a picture there.
Don't do that, but absolutely
Lo
mention
prometo.
my name because he's my favorite nephew. He's a good guy in special school, and somehow he ended up with these restaurants, and he's just incredibly successful. Even during the pandemic, they were giving sandwiches to people because it's a barbecue restaurant, so there are these huge brisket sandwiches and hot dog, whatever. It's amazing. We went down there for Halloween a couple of years ago. So if you get down there, tell him Eileen and Thomas said hello.
Prometo que iré. Lo voy a buscar y voy a ir.
He will pray. He will go. He promised he will go.
Okay. I want to go back again because we just toured the city because he was working, and Thomas and I just walked from one end of the city to the other end of the city. It was a lot of fun. It was, it was great fun. And I came down for Halloween and had a big Halloween party. I like my life. You can tell that, right?
Yeah.
And we love your body of work.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And we love your energy and your positive energy. Thank you for being so nice.
Well, I'm very
Thank
blessed. So, I appreciate everything that's happened to me. And, I make all this money signing my name on a picture. I mean, how weird is that? How fabulous is that? And I just did this show in Phoenix, Arizona. I just came back on Sunday and stuff like that. And, it's just like, hi, this is Eileen Dietz from The Exorcist. And I want you to meet my friend Pazuzu. Hello. What do you want? I'm very busy. What are you busy doing? Possessing people. What do you think? Well, I want you to say hello to Carlos for me, okay? Do I have to? Yes, you have to. Okay. Hello. Can I go back to possessing people now? Oh, Pazuzu, come on. You're just supposed to be nice. So I'll say it. Hi. It's nice to meet you. And I'm glad that I can say hello to you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Wow.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, Eileen, por la oportunidad.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. And I'll
Welcome
see you in either Argentina or
Well, I
Venezuela.
keep in touch. I will write to Aileen11 at
Yeah, let's stay in
Gmail.
touch. And
Yes.
he has my email address.
Oh, excellent. I'll write you. during the week.
Texting is always a great thing. I love
Okay.
texting. So then I
yeah.
have to send you my telephone number. But my address, though, I always say it's in care of my manager. So I
Okay.
get it right away. Just not that you guys are going to stalk me, but I have been stalked. So that's just a protection.
Okay,
You
good.
know,
No
it's
worries.
kind of scary. So
I'm
I
t-
just send it. I just send everything to my manager, and he gets it to me right away.
It was time to say it, Eileen. Thank you for your kindness, for your time, for making all this possible, for the space, and a lot of thank yous in behalf of
Thank you.
Jhon, of Cesar, and of course Adrian from Fancine Argento. No, thank you so much, Eileen.
Yeah, and I just wanted to thank you guys. This was really fun and a really nice Christmas present. And thank you, JJ, for arranging this and putting up with me.
Applause.
I will say to Jhon that change his name to JJ.
JJ.
His name is JJ. And are you guys Facebook? Are you on Facebook?
Yes, I haven't entered my Facebook a long time, but I will enter just for you. Yes, Jhon, que le pase los Facebook. Sí.
Sí.
Yes. Sí.
Okay, well, if you want to be, one of my friends on Facebook, just send it in, and I should recognize the name because I have 300 people waiting or something like that. But I can remember your name, guys, or something like that. Okay, I'm gonna go now. I just wanted to say goodbye properly, and thank you very, very much. And
Thank you.
it was definitely a different kind of Zoom, but poor JJ couldn't even be part of it. It was just like a three-way conversation. But I enjoyed myself. So Merry Christmas to you all, and I'll see you in the new year.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Have a nice year.
It's an honor. Thank you. Bye.
Sonor. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Gracias. I can say that. Gracias. Bye-bye.